Dala, a village nestled among rolling hills and ancient trees, carried a rhythm of life as timeless as the land itself. At the edge of this vibrant community, shrouded in mystery, lived Muzu Kalenga, a man of immense skill and solitude. Known as both a healer and a creator, his hands were legendary for crafting wonders. Yet, despite these many talents, Muzu Kalenga carried a deep longing in his heart, the absence of a child to share his legacy and the wisdom of his craft. Driven by this desire, Muzu Kalenga embarked on his greatest creation. From the sturdy wood of the sacred baobab tree and the unyielding iron of ancient tools, he sculpted a boy, a son. He breathed life into his creation using the mystical essence of fuma leaves, a ritual passed down from ancestors who had bridged magic and creativity. This boy, whom named Mjua Na Mikasi, was no ordinary child. His skin shimmered like a polished ebony, and his presence exuded both marvel and mystery. But Muzu Kalenga's time was short. Before he could complete Mjua Na Mikasi's hands, death claimed him, leaving the boy with sharp scissors in place of fingers. Alone, the boy remained in shadow of the ancient baobab, tending the overgrown compound and dreaming of a world beyond his solitude. His story, whispered among the villagers, was both a cautionary tale and a beacon of wonder, waiting to be unraveled. The boy in the shadows, Mjua Na Mikasi, lived a life cloaked in silence and solitude. The compound where he resided, overgrown with lush greenery and tangled vines, was a world unto itself. The chirping of birds and the rustling of the baobab leaves were his only companions. Each day he poured his soul into crafting wooden sculptures, his scissor hands carving intricate design with unmatched precision. His creations were a reflection of a world he had never truly known. Birds in flight, children laughing, and families united. Though his work brought him a fleeting joy, a void lingered in his heart. He yearned for connection, for a voice other than whispers of the wind, and carried distant signs from the village. His existence was one of quiet longing, a life lived in the shadow of the legacy left by Muzu Kalenga. One fateful afternoon, Nia, a spirited young girl from Dala, wandered beyond the village while gathering flowers. Drawn by curiosity and beauty of Mjua Na Mikasi's carvings, she cautiously stepped into the compound. Her wide eyes scanned the strange yet enchanting environment, and then she saw him. His towering frame and scissor hands startled her, but it was the sadness in his ebony eyes that held her gaze, summoning her courage. Nia spoke, her voice breaking the silence of his world. From that moment, a bond began to form, a bridge between two lives that could not have been more different. The weaving of friendship, Nia's first visit to Mjua Na Mikasi, was just the beginning. Day by day, she returned to the secluded compound, bringing the vibrancy of the outside world with her. She shared stories of the village, the bustling marketplace, the elders' tales under the baobab tree, and the lively dances during the harvest festival. Her words painted a picture of a life Mjua Na Mikasi had only dreamed of, filling his days with color and curiosity. In return, Mjua Na Mikasi showed her his creations. With his scissor hand, he carved figures so lifelike that they seemed ready to move. Wooden animals, delicate flowers, and even miniature replicas of village came to life under his meticulous craftsmanship. Nia watched in awe, marveling at his talent and gentleness with which he worked despite his sharp and imposing hands. Their friendship blossomed like the flowers Nia often brought with her. For Mjua Na Mikasi, her laughter and warmth were balm to his loneliness, while Nia found in him a kindred spirit who saw the beauty in things others overlooked. Yet whispers of her visits began to reach the villagers. Intrigued but wary, they decided to investigate the boy who had captured Nia's attention. When they arrived at the compound, they were greeted by his breathtaking creations. Though amazed, their eyes lingered on his scissor hands with a mixture of wonder and unease. It was clear that trust would not come easily. As they turned into weeks, Mjua Na Mikasi's unique skills began to weave themselves into the fabric of Dala. His scissor hands, once a source of fear, became instruments of transformation. His sculpted gardens into breathtaking works of art, with bushes shaped like animals and flowers arranged into intricate patterns. Villagers marveled at the beauty he brought to their environment, watching as dull country yards into vibrant sanctuaries. Beyond the gardens, Mjua Na Mikasi found another use for his hands: trimming hair. With unmatched precision, he crafted hairstyles that became the envy of the region. From children to elders, people lined up to experience his gentle touch and the artistry of his work. The villagers began to see him not as a strange outsider, but as a remarkable gift to their community. However, not everyone was enchanted. Akili, the village boastful hunter, viewed Mjua Na Mikasi as a threat to his status. The admiration directed toward the boy stirred jealousy in Akili's heart. He began whispering in the ears of others, claiming that Mjua Na Mikasi's scissor hands were cursed, tools of dark magic that would eventually bring ruin to the village. Though the villagers continued to benefit from Mjua Na Mikasi's talents, the seeds of doubt were planted. A shadow of suspicion began to creep into the minds of few, threatening the harmony that had started to take root in Dala. The rains that once nourished Dala ceased, leaving the land parched and the villagers desperate. Fields that once thrived with golden maize and vibrant greens lay barren, and the once lively riverbeds cracked under the scorching sun. The elders convened under the baobab tree, their faces etched with worry. Babaduma, the wisest among them, sought answers, but none seemed to forthcoming. In the midst of their despair, Akili, the boastful hunter, whose whispers of discontent had grown louder, seized the moment. "It's Mjua Na Mikasi," he declared, his voice cutting through the murmurs. "The boy with the cursed hands. He brought his magic to our village, and now it had turned against us." His words found willing ears among the fearful. The beauty Mjua Na Mikasi had brought to Dala now seemed a distant memory, overshadowed by the withered crops and empty wells. Villagers who had once marveled at his creation now whispered of dark force and ill omens. Nia stood firm, her voice breaking as she pleaded with them to see reason. "He's not to blame," she cried. "He has only ever helped us." But her words fell on deaf ears, drowned out by the growing tide of fear. In their desperation, the villagers turned to Babaduma, demanding action reluctantly. He conceded to their fears. "Let the boy leave," he said gravely. "Perhaps with his departure, the rains will return." Mjua Na Mikasi, hearing their verdict, retreated to his compound, his heart heavy with sorrow. The place he had begun to call home now saw him as a threat, and he faced the reality of exile with a quiet resignation. Devastation gripped Mjua Na Mikasi as he retreated to the familiar shadows of his compound. The rejection of the village, which he had only sought to beauty and serve, cut deeper than his scissor hands ever could. Days passed in silence, the once thriving garden around him now mirroring the barren lands of Dala. For the first time since her visits began, Nia found Mjua Na Mikasi consumed by despair, his eyes hollow with grief. "You cannot give up," Nia said firmly, her determination piercing through his melancholy. She sat beside him under the ancient baobab tree, the symbol of resilience and strength. "If they can't see your worth, then we will show them." Her words stirred something within him. Together, they brainstormed a plan, a way to turn the villagers' fear into admiration once more. Drawing inspiration from Nia's stories of the village struggle, Mjua Na Mikasi conceived an idea to end the drought. With his scissor hands, he began crafting intricate irrigation channels, each movement precise and purposeful. Nia worked tirelessly by his side, carrying water and tools, her presence a beacon of encouragement. The process was painstaking, but the vision kept them going. Mjua Na Mikasi shaped pathways that would guide water from a distant underground spring to the village field. For the first time since his exile, hope flickered in his heart. This was his chance to reclaim his place, not through words but through action, a testament to his ingenuity and the goodness that lay within him. Mjua Na Mikasi and Nia worked tirelessly under the blazing sun. They shared a determination fueling every effort. As the final irrigation channels were carved into the dry earth, a sense of anticipation filled the air. The pathways stood ready, awaiting the life-giving rain that would determine their success. That evening, as clouds gathered on the horizon, Nia and Mjua Na Mikasi stood under a baobab tree, their hearts filled with both hope and trepidation. Then, as if answering their unspoken prayers, the skies broke open. Torrential rain poured over Dala, drenching the parched land and filling the newly carved channels. Water surged through the pathways, streaming into fields and reviving the lifeless crops. The village awoke to a transformed landscape, green shoots breaking through the soil and promise of a harvest once more. The villagers gathered near the fields, their faces a mixture of amazement and guilt. Baba Duma stepped forward, his voice steady but filled with emotion. It was not magic, but ingenuity and kindness that saved us. He declared, "Mjua Na Mikasi, your hands has brought us life." The villagers erupted into cheers, their fear melting into gratitude. Yet, in the midst of celebration, Achilles' voice rose above a crowd. "This proves nothing," he sneered. "Let him face me in a contest of skill to show his true worth." Though weary, Mjua Na Mikasi accepted the challenge, determined to end off the doubts once and for all. The entire village gathered at the center of Dala, their curiosity piqued and tension high. The contest was to be a test of skill, creativity, and heart, with the sacred move of wood serving as the medium. Achilles stepped forward first, his confidence unshaken. With his powerful hands, he began carving a lion, his movements swift but rough. The crowd watched as the figure emerged, its form impressive but lacking in fineness. Achilles smiled smugly. When it was Mjua Na Mikasi's turn, a hush fell over the crowd. With steady precision, he began his work, his scissor hands moving like a symphony of blades. Each cut and curve seemed infused with life, and soon a delicate sculpture of a mother cradling her child took shape. The figures were so lifelike that they seemed to breathe, their expression capturing the essence of love and protection. As he finished, the villagers moved closer, their eyes wide with wonder. Baba Duma stepped forward to judge the creations. He examined Achilles' lion, nodding at its strength but frowning at its lack of details. Then he turned to Mjua Na Mikasi's sculpture, his expression softening. "This," he declared, "it's not just a carving. It's a story of our spirit and humanity." The villagers erupted into applause, their admiration of Mjua Na Mikasi undeniable. Achilles, disgraced and defeated, left the gathering in silence. From that moment on, Mjua Na Mikasi's scissor hands were no longer a source of fear, but a symbol of unparalleled artistry and heart. Mjua Na Mikasi's return to Dala marked the beginning of a new chapter for the village. His scissor hands, once feared, became instruments of change and beauty. With each passing season, he used his unique talents to create wonders for the community. From sculpting tools that eased the villagers' labor to designing intricate wooden art that adorned homes, his contributions became indispensable. Children would often gather around him, their eyes wide with wonder as they watched him carve lifelike animals and flowers. As the years passed, Mjua Na Mikasi's story grew into a legend told under the sprawling branches of the baobab tree. Parents shared the tale with their children, emphasizing the lessons of kindness, ingenuity, and the strange found in embarrassing differences. Though his scissor hands never changed, they became a symbol of his true gift, a heart capable of turning adversity into beauty and solitude into connection. Mjua Na Mikasi was not just a part of Dala, he was its soul, proving that acceptance and understanding could transform not just a person, but an entire community.